Just give me a minute, because my presentation is really lighthearted. So, and actually, Donna, I loved it when she said, they want us to be like children, and that was so great, because I was sitting here thinking at first, before she said that, it was like, first of all, I want to, and I'll actually introduce myself in a minute, but last night, I've never done a PowerPoint before. I had no idea how to put one together. This was a last minute thing, the cancellation of our speaker that was supposed to speak right now. And so it was like, can you how my sister put it is like, how's your speaking voice? And she called me. I was doing a class, we were on the last day of that class. Actually, I think we were in the reunion after the class, and she's like, how's your speaking voice? And I'm like, oh, okay, all right, we can do it. And stuff. And then it was like, and then right after that, she's like, and what's your topic gonna be? And I'm like, I'm on, give me a break. Anyway, so I'm like, all I'm hearing is manifesting. I'm like, okay, manifesting. And it wasn't, and pretty soon after that, they're like, what, give me a description. And it's like, that's, I'm like, you're going to have to wait. I never did give them one, so you're just going to have to get what you get. So okay, you want that order. Okay, they want these stories. I am completely guided all the time, and I just let them tell me what to do. So that's why if you see me going, really, what? Okay, that's because they're going, no, tell this now and do this now and stuff. So it's not because, you get it, okay? And okay. Anyway, a few months ago, and I'll have Diane help me. When was this that I did the talk with ORI? April, thank you. They'd asked me, months before that, they'd asked me to do a talk, and I had lots of time to prepare, and the whole time I'm like, okay, what do you want me to talk about? And I would never get anything, nothing. And I have like rough ideas. She had an idea. She told me what she wanted me to talk about. It's like, okay, that's fine. But I'm trying to get some idea of a structure. I'm like, okay, I need an idea. Let's get kind of A, B, C, something. If I can get kind of blocks, then I know what to do. I got an idea here, because this was off from what I normally do. And I'm like, that's all I need just give me some kind of an outline. Can I have, I just need something here. Nothing. I'm going to the talk. Still, nothing. And I'm actually, this is right before the talk, grabbing a quick bite to eat, and I'm like, are you going to give me any ideas? It is completely, like, no, it's shut down. There's, I knew what Gladys with her, I knew what she wanted me to talk about, so it's like, I know I need to hit these points. But as far as, like, how, where do I start? What am I, that's where I get my guidance, okay? They kind of help me along and stuff like that. I don't do all these, I don't do this, I don't have structure a lot. It just comes and it just flows, and that's how I do it. That's what works. That's what always happens, okay? And I'm like, I'm sitting here, I'm eating, and I'm like, anything? And they're like, it's just like nothing. And I'm like, okay, so that's how you're going to do this? And they're like, yep. Like, really? And they're like, uh-huh. Okay. So I'm going to go in there with no plan. And they're like, yes. Okay. So what is this about? I mean, they're always using me to teach. Always. I mean, I said, use me. I mean, quite a while back, I just said, I'm willing to be used as a vessel to teach, others. Just go ahead, and they come to me and they'll just, if somebody needs a message, if somebody needs something, if somebody, whatever, they just come to me and they're like, okay, that one needs this one needs this, whatever. And that's how it works. And that's why I was like, okay, I need to give this talk. And there was like nothing. I'm like, what? So they were just like, nope, this is how this is going to go. You're going to wait until you get in there. And then you're just going to do it. It's going to come to you. You're just going to wait. And it's like, and so that's what I had to tell them. Okay, and here we are in this room. And this was a group that came from, it was a group from primarily Taiwan and some China, and so it's like, they came a long ways and stuff. And I thought, well, okay, this is interesting that, but it was something about that was, and it was all about dowsing. It was all about teaching them how to, I guess is what it was. I think what it was trying to teach them was how to listen to their guidance. So I think that's what it was trying to, how to trust what they're getting. And it was like, okay, if I'm willing to go onto a stage with absolutely no idea what I'm going to tell them and trust that they're going to give it to me at the moment I need it, then that was their lesson. Okay? That was me being the vessel to teach them what they needed at that point. Okay? And that was how it went. And it was a 3-hour talk. Yeah, that was the other part. It's like going, thank you very much. But it worked. It worked, and it went, and people are like, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. I can't believe all the information that's coming through. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Really? You're getting something out of this? Oh my gosh, Because, so, it's all about just be willing. If that's what you want to do, be willing, be open, allow, and trust. Exactly, trust. Just trust, and it will be given. Okay? Now, that's what happened here. It's exactly what happened here. It just said manifesting. I've talked about manifesting several times. In fact, about 10 days ago, I did a radio show with someone, and he just said, I thought it was going to be on Soul Speak, and he just said, you know what, I have absolutely no agenda, I have absolutely no idea where this is going to go, let's just see what happens. I'm like, great, I love that, it's just organic, let's just see what happens. Ended up being an entire show on manifesting. So I wonder what that was preparing me for. See how beautiful it is? And that's what we did. And so that's where it was like, okay, this is perfect. He just was but he was asking me questions. And so there it was, but all the answers were there and it was preparing me. So it was like, there we go. Now, so here we have this. They're saying manifesting, okay? Now I'm like, all right. This was like 2 nights ago. I'm like, I have only begun every night after the conference. I'm going back. I'm like, I need to work on this. And so we're talking, these conferences are ending late, right? And so we're already working late. And then now I'm going back and I'm like, I got to do something. I've got to get something. I got to start doing something. And 2 nights ago, I was like, I've got to start working on something. Bless her heart, Diane's like, well, can't you ask them? I'm always forgetting, and she's always reminding me, my dear angel, is always reminding me to ask them. Can't you ask them to give you a download in your dream, and then you can get up early in the morning and you'll have an outline? I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot. I can ask them. Yeah, they can do that, but I don't like to get up early in the morning. I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to do that. So so as she left, I'm going in my room, and I'm like, I'm asking for a download. I'm asking you to help me. Can you please give me a download now? And so I go in, and I just went in, and I got on the computer, and it just started coming out, okay? And I had the beginnings. I had part 1. And it was flowing. It was just coming. Oh, here it comes. Oh, my gosh. Because on the drive over, before the conference, it was starting to come in, but it was like, okay, I need to get this down, start getting it down, but now it was like, okay, now it's coming into some form. All right, okay. Because the night before, I was trying to kind of play with this PowerPoint thing, and I was like, no, I can't. I was trying to find pictures. I was like, I know my idea, but I don't know. It's like, no, I have to have an outline, and that's where this was coming in. So then last night, we have our speaker dinner, and I'm like, I still don't have this done, And bless her heart, I have Trisha sitting next to me, and who has more pictures in the world and knows how to do PowerPoints better than, who's the PowerPoint queen? Trisha McCannon. And she offered to help me. So, yes, bless her heart, she and Andy came back to my room, and they are the ones that helped me get this PowerPoint together. So, yes, so see, we have angels. We ask for the help, and they provide, okay? So whenever you need it, they will provide. So yes. So, and then she was showing me too how to do it. So she helped me get the whole first part done, and she's like, yeah, you got it now, and then I was able to get the rest of it done. And so, yeah, I know how to do PowerPoints now. Now it's going to be how to make this thing work. That's going to be the only thing left, okay? Okay, so now, if there's anybody, a little bit about myself if you don't know who I am. I'm Julia Cannon. I am the second of 4 children born to Johnny and Dolores Cannon. Was raised as a military brat. If you don't know that term, it means my father was in the Navy for 21 years, and we moved a lot. We were all, from the point, from the point that I was little, we were in the Philippines. My younger brother and sister were born in the Philippines. And then after that, we did a lot of moving in the States. But like every 2 years, we were moving. And that was the norm. You're just, and you get very little notice, and you're gone. You just move. Okay, it's time to go. You're transferred to another place, and you just go. And that's the norm. Okay? A lot of people say, well, what does that do? How does that affect you? And I think what it does is it makes you very adaptable. It teaches you how to make friends quickly. It teaches you how to adapt, and also teaches you, you're not stuck in one culture. You're not stuck in one mentality. Because usually where we went were smaller places, smaller towns. I guess they put bases in smaller areas or something. But we would be in these smaller places, and we would go to the public schools, and a lot of it's like it would just be, they would think that we were strange because we traveled. That was the thing. And they would ostracize us sometimes because we were the military. We didn't live on the base. We lived. We lived out. We always bought, my father usually bought houses. He would buy a house or rent a house out in civilian land. It's like there's the civilians and then there's the military. So anyway, So that was my upbringing. We were raised to travel a lot, and that was always our difference. So we were raised to be open, and I think also what that does is it raises you to be open-minded because you're around a lot of different things. Like I said, you have to adapt very, very quickly. Okay? When I got out of, I won't do a lot about a lot of people know, what was it like, growing up with Dolores Cannon? Hey, she was a mother, okay? She was just my mother during all those years. They were my parents. To me, that's all it was. See, it wasn't anything abnormal, because this is, and that's not what this talk is about, and I don't want to take up too much time, but they were just doing their thing. They were into hypnosis. Isn't everybody? It started with my father, and then Mom was helping him, but I was like 10 or 11, we were aware of it, and we were hearing some stuff that was going on, but that wasn't what I paid attention to. I was playing, and stuff like that. So, and then my father had this horrific accident at the same time. It was 1968. That should have killed him. It should have killed him. And then that's what brought us here. He was forced to retire from the military, and because he was, long story short, he was in the hospital for a year because his body was actually crushed in the vehicle, and that completely turned our whole family's life around. It was devastating to the family, it was devastating to him, it was devastating to everything that happened in our lives. But that's what launched everything for my mother as well. So that was, you can see within the family, why these things happen. But that's also what brought us here, because what they've told me is, you thought that was the only place, because what she would always say is, we moved to Arkansas because that was the only place we could raise a large family on very little money, and they've said, you thought that's why you came here. And it's like, oh, no. We brought you here. And so, it's very, you think these devastating things happen to you, and then, this is all I could do, and this is all, and then you look back and it's like, no, these were very planned. These were very strategic. It's like what Donna was just saying, we picked, this one on my platter, this one on my platter, it's like, these were all these things, and the family chose this one, we all chose to go through this experience, and we all went through this together to be here, and then now, and we're all still going through all these things, so to grow and everything, so, boy, this is way off from, it's whatever you want, then very quickly about me, I ever since I was a little girl, I wanted to be a nurse. I knew I was going to be a nurse, so that's what I did. I got out of school and I became a registered nurse. I did that for over 20 years. I was a registered nurse in intensive care and home health until the universe said, no, that's enough. You're not going to do that anymore. And they said, you've got to be over here doing this. And I didn't listen. I played around, and I heard the messages, but I didn't listen. I didn't take it seriously. And so it got to this point. I guess there are points in there, and I know, they're saying that, there's a bunch of you that can relate to this. So, and there again, that goes to, I know there have been several speakers speaking about this. There's this point that you can only go so far over here, and when you have to be over here, then in other words, you, Remember, your higher self, the one that made all the plans, you, okay, and your guides, that when you all got together and made that plan, and you said, okay, I've got to be doing this at this point, then come hell or high water, you got to get yourself there. And that's what it was. I wasn't taking the messages seriously that said, get over here now. And so it was like, okay, then we got to step in. And that was probably a plan that was also in place, And if you wait, and I'm just telling you, don't wait for that. It's not pretty. Okay, it's not pretty. Anybody else done that? Yeah, it's not pretty, is it? No. Yeah, they hit. Oh my God, that's what we call the etheric 2x4. Mine was a 10x6. It's not pretty. Oh, don't wait for that. No. But when you get through it, that's another one of those things, when you're in the middle of it, you're like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm ever going to make it. What just happened to me? Oh, you didn't listen, one. But two, you get through it, we survive it, we get through it. When we get on the other side of it, you're going, oh my gosh, that was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. The best thing. Because that is where I had my greatest spiritual growth. That is where all of this stuff started opening up. That is where all of this stuff, it's like it had to happen. So I don't know, it kind of gave me a fast track, actually. So it's not that it had to happen, but to me, it was like, it was one of the best things that did happen. So if it did happen to you, please try to see the positive side of it, because it is positive. It's very positive. Everything that happens is positive. See the positive of it. Okay? All right. So, the reason I told that is because it comes up here in a little bit later as I'm doing this. Now, this was so funny because when I was starting, like I said a few nights ago, I was kind of doing the cart before the horse, and I was trying to get pictures because I had in my head how I wanted to do this, and I was like, okay, and of what I wanted to convey, and they were saying, do a PowerPoint, do it. I'm like, PowerPoint? Really? I always draw pictures. I don't, really? You want me to do that? You want me to already have the pictures up there, and stuff? And it's like, okay, that's going to be a new one. But I knew the idea that I wanted to convey. And I was like, okay. So I was trying to find some pictures and trying to kind of play with it. But it was like, that's what I said. I was like, no, this isn't working. I need to get the outline together first. And so then when Trisha came in and she was doing it, she came in and she was like, it went completely this other direction. This was not my plan to go this direction at all, okay, with cartoons, okay? But when we did it, I was like, oh, this is so perfect. This is so perfect because we are all the time trying to make this so serious and so like, oh, it's hard work. It's hard work to manifest things, and we got to really go, we got to make it. We got to do X, Y, and Z, and you got to sit in this position, and you got to do this, and you got to do that, and all this, right? Yeah, it's really hard. No, it's not. And that's what I wanted. No, it's not. It's easy. It's really, really easy. And what did Donna just say? What did she just say? She said, be like a child. And that's what I was saying earlier. I was thinking, oh my God, how is this going to go over? I have cartoons in my entire PowerPoint. Oh my gosh. And when she said that, you've got to be as a child. And then the things happen. I'm like, Oh my God, this is perfect. Yay! Be as a child. I have the cartoons for you. Yay! Yeah. So, see, how perfect is that? I will connect you with your inner child. Yeah. All right. Because that's what it's all about. And that's how you manifest. It's from that frequency. It's not from this. And I got over and over and work. No, it's from this light-hearted place. It's from this love and gratitude place that little children have. It's that place. And it's easy. It is so easy to manifest. Okay? I want you to say that again. Repeat that after me. It is so easy to manifest. It is so easy to manifest. It's a breeze. It is. It is so easy. Now, how many of you believe that? Good. Okay, I only see a few hands over here. Any believers over here? Sometimes. Okay, thank you for being truthful. Okay, all right. All right, yeah, and we're going to talk about that. Okay, all right. Now, the main reason you came here is to learn how to manipulate energy. Okay? And what does that mean? Means, yeah, you're creators. It means manifest. It means learning how to make things happen. Because what? What do we know? Everything is energy. So if we are working with energy and we are manipulating energy, everything is energy, then you're just working within that. So that's how you make things happen. Okay? That's all. So that's the first part. It's just knowing. You know that everything is energy. And I know some of you are going, I already know all this. And that's part of my, when I do some of these things, it's like everybody knows this in the metaphysical world. And even Tricia was saying, well, no, this is good. This will be good to remind people. But there are some parts in here that I think maybe some little difference here. So, okay? All right. I want you to remember that we are like magnets. What we think and believe, we create. We are giant magnetic computer processors. Okay? I just thought that was so cute. I'm sorry, I'm just not attracted to you. I'm just... Anyway, okay. Everything, what's going on up in here? Your thoughts. See, that's energy. What did he say? Everything is energy. So what's going on up in here, and what you believe, and what you say, see, all of that is energy. And we're magnets. You've heard the adage, like attracts like, right? Well, that's where that comes from. We're just giant magnets. Okay, and then we're processing constantly everything that's going on around us. So we're processing. Okay? So all that's going in here, processing. Da 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 da. All right? And it's just like, okay, I'm just going to draw to me what I'm thinking, saying, believing. That's how it works. Now, really, if you think about that and you break that down, that's very, very simple. Okay? And that's how the universe is. It's always simple. It's not complicated. It is very, very simple. But that's the whole premise of it. We are magnets. So it's about watching what's going on. You've heard the old adage, the computer adage, you know, they always had it early on. And I don't know if I haven't heard it so much lately, but earlier in the computer world, you remember hearing that? Garbage in, garbage out? How many were familiar with that term? Yeah. You know, if you put junk in there, you're going to get junk out. Well, that's how it is. If you are only putting junk in, if you're just putting garbage in, then guess what's coming out? In other words, that's what it is attracting. That's what's going to be around you. That's just exactly how it is, okay? Now, so it's about choices. Now, it's really that simple, okay? And these are just some, but you can make it any choices. You know, it's just, you know, do you want this or do you want this? And this came about very simply. I was in Burbank, California. Gosh, years ago, quite a few years ago. And they were telling me, I was walking out of a door, and I was like, do I want to go left or do I want to go right? And they were like, yep, that's how it works. I'm like, what? And they said, that's how the new earth works. That's how everything works. It's all about your perspective. It's all about how you think. It's all about how you choose to view things. Everything. Okay? It's not what appears to be reality. It's how you choose to actually see it. Okay? So it's a matter of what you are wanting and what you want. So it's like you make the choice, first of all, what do I want? And then you're going to support that with your actions, okay? So if you want a life of, you know, chaos and conflict and struggle and lack and all these things, then you're going to support it with certain actions, okay? And if you want the life of harmony and joy and prosperity and ease and warmth and intimacy, and you'll support that with different actions, different thoughts, okay? Does that make sense? Okay. Now, some people say, well, yeah, but that's hard to do. That's hard to do. And I've heard that several times. People saying, oh, but that's hard. Exactly. Here's another analogy. A farmer doesn't plant strawberries and expect to reap watermelons. Okay? Now, so this goes back to, it's a matter of what you plant, what you're putting in. So remember that garbage in, garbage out. You've got to monitor what's going in here. So first of all, you know, it's recognizing what you're allowing in. You know, like I said, choices, it's like, what world do I want? What life do I want? And then it's, what am I allowing in? You cannot have peace and harmony and all those things, and then be watching or allowing actions and things that support all of the other side. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah, so you can't, that's a conflict. It doesn't work that way. That's planting strawberries and expecting watermelons. Okay, you have to plant, if you want strawberries, you've got to plant strawberries. Okay, you're going to plant strawberries, you're going to get strawberries. That's how it goes. Okay? With me? Okay. But you wouldn't believe how many people don't get that. They think, no, I'm going to keep watching the news and watching all these things that, you know, that keep me plugged in to all the stuff that I got to be aware of. Because I need to be aware of it. because you never know what might happen. You never know. Something might happen, and I need to know about it. You never know. You never know. Okay. And then several of the speakers have commented about the drugs, the drug commercials and stuff. I mean, yeah, heaven forbid we might get sick and we might not get told about it and then not be prepared. Heaven, oh my goodness. Or, oh my gosh, Now, and like Tricia was saying, we all like, some fun little things, but know what it is. Know that it's something that you're doing for entertainment. But if you're sitting around and just continually watching horror movies and things that are slashers and all this negative stuff and everything, don't expect daisies and all this wonderful positive things to be coming out of your life, okay? It's not going to support it. Fear-based things are not going to support positive outcome. It's not going to do it. You have to monitor what's going in, all right? You have to. And this is where you come in. Only you can do that. Only you can do that. Okay? This is another one, and I don't remember, another speaker said it much better than this, but anything that is intended to make you feel less than. I think, was it you, Janie? Was it? Yeah. It was like, I think where Joanne had a message. Yeah, get rid of anything that doesn't make you feel special. Yeah, see, it's just, get rid of that stuff. You don't want it, See, because you don't want to go there, all right? Okay, same here. It's like, is your mind full of all this, you want to analyze your beliefs. Is your mind full of just a bunch of stuff? Again, are you being mindful? Okay? But really look at where your beliefs are, because that plays a big factor. So go there as well. Okay, and I just love this little one. Your mind is a garden. Your thoughts are the seeds. You can grow flowers or you can grow weeds. See, it's just your choice. What do you want to put in there? It's your choice. What do you want to stop allowing in? And this will go into the next part. I'm hearing this constantly. I've done several shows with people, other, radio shows with people, and right before the show, they'll say, something about, all the craziness that's going on in the world, and I'm like, and this one, and you'll understand the time period at the end when I say this, and she was like, she was saying, well, maybe, she was somebody that they'll do readings on the show and everything, and she's like, well, would you be willing, she's pushing me into doing readings, which is not something I usually do, and so she keeps pushing me out of my little comfort zone and everything, and she's stretching me and stuff, and I'm like, sure, and she goes, well, that'd be good, because, we're people, they're going through a bunch of stuff, and they're really, because all the craziness that's going on in the world right now, and I'm like, craziness. And because we were having this discussion, it was like 15 minutes before the show goes on. We kind of do a show before the show. We just visit with each other. And so now it's going in, it's counting down, and we're getting ready to go live. And so I'm sitting there going, craziness. What's going on? That would be crazy. What's going on? I mean, I'm completely oblivious. I don't know. Okay, what's going on? What's going on? Is a war broke out? I don't know. And then all of a sudden it dawned on me, oh my God, we just had the election. Oh, oh my God. See, I I don't let any of that stuff in. I was oblivious to it. I had no idea that there was anything going on out there. It doesn't happen. It wasn't in my world, and you'll see that, not in my world. Okay? I didn't have any craziness going on in my life. Okay, and that's going to make more sense here in a minute. But some people say, well, you have to know, you have to be aware. Why? Why? Okay? And that will make more sense in a minute too. Okay? Now, you and the monitoring, you have a lot of old, tapes going on up there, the beliefs and everything. That's a lot of stuff that comes from old programming. And just a lot of teaching you've been doing to yourself. Okay? And some of this it's a lot of self-talk that's come from who knows how many. It may come from lifetimes. Who knows? But definitely there's stuff from this lifetime. But it's stuff that, it's just been coming up. It's just things you've heard over, just who knows where. You might have heard something in passing. It wasn't even intended for you, but you took it anyway, and you just take from here and there, and you just, you carry all this stuff in there, and you just have all this stuff. And so you've got to monitor what's going on, and then, so you stop letting new stuff in. So there's first, and then you're purging the other stuff. So, because as you are limiting what's allowed in, and you're only letting the things that you want in, now you've got to start teaching. You've got to start teaching new things to start playing up there, okay? And as you do that, things start happening. One way you know that this is happening, how you know what's going on up here is you look at your world around you. Okay? That's all you have to do. In your immediate world. I usually tell people is you can tell the state of my mind by looking at my house and my car. That's the best way to know. You can immediately know the state of my mind. Okay? So that's how you look at your immediate world, because that's your immediate manifestation. Okay? You will know that's your immediate world. So that's what you are creating. Okay? That will tell you where your mind is, where it's at, what's it doing. And if you've got all this drama going on and all these things happening, guess what's going on up here? Okay? But as you start sorting it out, and as it starts, you get different things coming in, and all this other stuff starts leaving, it's just amazing. It's like magic. All that drama just starts falling away, and it just starts becoming calm, and it all just starts falling into place, and these beautiful things just start happening, and all things just start getting coordinated, and it just starts being beautiful. It just starts falling into place, really. And you're going, how did this happen? And it's just because you changed the thoughts you were thinking. That's all it was. The thoughts you were thinking, the words you were saying. Okay? That was it. So, I want you. So what I'm going to share with you something that I do every single morning. This is my own personal mantra. It's like a mantra. It's what I do every morning. And this is something, it just shows you, we are great and powerful beings. I can't tell you that enough. We are great and powerful beings. That's what this is all about. And we just forgot. And this is what it's trying to show us. See, we've been creating from this unconscious place up until now. And that's what all this is about. It's just now we're becoming conscious that we can do it. Okay? And it's like, okay, you've been doing it, and that's why, and now I'm telling you, whether you believe it or not. And so now that I've told you, now you're responsible. Okay? All right. So, what this does, this is huge what this does, because it completely turns everything around. And you are talking, because it's talking to you, it changes everything for you, and it talks to your power within, okay? And it reminds you who you are. Okay, so I'm going to do it in parts, and at the end it'll all be together. But I'm doing this so you can write it, or say it, whatever you want to do. But it starts with, what do they all start with? I am, right? Whole. Perfect. Strong. Powerful. Loving. Harmonious. Happy and healthy. And you put those emotions in there. You say it with feeling. Okay? And if you didn't get all that, we'll say it. There it is all together. So, every morning I say, I am whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, happy, and healthy. Now, you know your body's hearing that, right? You know your head's hearing that. That's replacing that other programming that's been going on up there. That's moving things around. Okay? Do you like that better than you're a rotten, dirty scoundrel and blah, 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 blah? Okay? So you start every day. That's how I start every day. Every morning, that before I ever get up, and I'm stretching, and I'm whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, happy, and healthy. I'm so excited to be in this life and in this world. And thank you for being here, and I love my life. Thank you. See? Love and gratitude. Okay? And then, and I'm going to tell you the next line before I show you the picture. And this is where Tricia and I, it was getting late at this point, and we were just getting slap happy, okay? Okay. The next line is, and I can be what I choose to be. Okay? Because you just said, I am all these things. And I can be whatever I choose to be. Okay? I give myself permission. I can be whatever I choose to be. All right? We just thought that was kind of cute, especially after her talk. And remember, not in my world. And a lot of times people come up to you and they'll be talking to you. It's like, well, this is going on. And you'll hear it all the time. Oh, my God, did you hear? And this is happening, this is happening. It's like, I'll say that. Not in my world. And that just kind of, and it's not saying anything about them or anything, but it's just, I'm just not acknowledging it in my world. It's not happening in my world. Okay? I'm not accepting it. Not in my world. You know, if you want that in your world, that's fine. And I don't say that out loud. I just usually just go, yeah, not my world. Okay, so, yeah, not my world. All right. Now, so from there, see, you've reprogrammed everything. You've got a clean slate. You've got everything, all this, got the junk out. So now you're attracting. So now it's, okay, now what are we going to do? Yeah. Now it's, what do you want? Okay? Now it goes to focus on what you want, not what you don't want. See, it's the same kind of thing. It's like, it's about where you place your focus. Okay? It's the same. You've heard that? That where your attention goes? Right? Okay? That's how this works. Wherever you place your attention, that's what's going to grow. Whatever you focus on is what is going to happen. So focus on what you want, not what you don't want. Okay? Again, that's the programming. So say it, like whatever it is you want, say it in the way that you intend it. Okay? Now, put in your order just like you're in a restaurant. When you go to a restaurant, do you just say, oh, just give me whatever? Whatever you got in there, I'm fine. No. I mean, who does anybody do that? I'm okay with whatever you got. No, I want that burger. I want, if any meat eaters, that burger medium rare. In fact, to this degree, with pickles and onions, and yes, and I'd like the vegetables cooked to this medium. We are very specific, aren't we? Yeah, very specific how we want our food done. Are we not? Yeah. And that's like the first thing. Be specific in what you want. Okay? Another thing is make sure it's what you really want. Put your heart into it. Make sure it resonates with your heart. Don't make it just something, oh, I think I'll go after this because that sounds good, Make sure it's something your heart resonates with. All right? Because then you'll really get juicy with it. It's like, oh yeah, I really, really want to do this, I want this. And then then the magnet gets really in there, okay? Because all the thoughts are right there. Okay, so you're in the restaurant and you're placing your order. And who do you think that guy is that you're placing your order with? Higher self, exactly. Your guides, your higher self. You're giving your order to the higher ups. All right. Now, when you place your order, do you usually place it and then you keep going back in the kitchen and checking and making sure that they're cooking it right and doing everything right and okay, I got to check, make sure you're cooking. First of all, making sure now you check. Now, did you do that burger right? Are you doing my burger? Are you doing my vegetables right? Now, I'm not sure are you qualified to do that? Do any of us ever check on that chef back there? No. We know that they're doing it, don't we? Because we put our order in. We just know that it's being done and it will be delivered. Well, it's the same way. So why is it we don't trust our the higher selves and our guides and everything the same way? Why is it we don't do that? Put the order in and then just trust them to deliver it. It will be delivered when it's ready. Okay? Just same with your food. You don't ask for it to be delivered when it's raw. Okay, before it's done. You ask for it to be delivered when it's ready. Okay? And it's the same way. It will come out just as you planned. Just know that. Okay? You believe it and you allow it to happen. You trust it will come out when it is ready or done. And that's exactly how it works. Just leave it to them. Don't keep checking on it. Go check, go check, go check. Just turn it in. Know they're working on it. It'll be delivered when it's ready. It's got to percolate for a while. Whatever. You put your order in, trust it. Okay? Now, a lot of times what people want to do is like, but this manifesting thing, I don't want to be selfish. And I really want to do worldly things. I want to affect the world. And that's what I want, world peace. And I want, I want to do these big global things. And so that's what I want to address here. This is what I'm talking about. This is the only way you can do it. It has to start with you. So you can't go out there and go, oh, I wish to manifest world peace. It doesn't work that way. Okay? It doesn't. You have to get your world in peace, which is here. Okay? You have to have a peaceful mind. How do you get that? How do you get that? How do you get that? Garbage out. Yeah, you get the unrest out. You get all the other junk out. And then what do you put in? Peace. You get peaceful thoughts in. You make your world peaceful. Then your world becomes peaceful. Okay? And then what happens? I love this one. You end up being a teacher by being an example to others. So be careful what you're teaching. You got to walk your talk, okay? So that's, again, why you monitor. But I thought that was funny. Okay? But what happens is the ripple effect. Okay? Because you are doing this, people are seeing what's happening. And they're like, what's going on with you? You're different. Something's happening. And so it just starts affecting them. And then they want to know. And you may not even have to tell them. It just starts affecting them. And they just notice that you are doing different things. So they may just start copying you. That may be all it takes. Or they may want to know what you're doing, and you tell them what you're doing. That's fine. But you are an example. You teach by example. That's why it's so important to walk your talk. So important. That's like Trisha's talk, it's like, and I think several people have said, this has to be connected. You can't do one thing here and another thing here, they have to be connected. This is all working together. And we are in a place now that we are so tuned that if somebody is not doing that, we can, oh my gosh, we know it right away. And it's like, And that's where those see an enemy that Don was talking about, the see an enemy little antennas, they go in like, no, I don't want to be around you because I don't jive with you. You don't walk your talk. I don't want to be around you. See, that's where some of that comes from, okay? So it's all about, see, you do that, and it has a ripple effect, and it keeps going out. Now this is how you affect the world. You just take care of your world, okay? You are not responsible for the world. You are responsible for your world. And by being responsible for your world, your thoughts, your words, your actions, that ripples out. And that is what affects the world. That's how it works. Because it all starts, remember the magnets and all that stuff starts working together, okay? Because it's not my world, all right? Now this next part, I want to share a personal story about one of my manifesting stories, about something, because things that come in and it just shows you how this works. This was after this time, I was telling you, whenever the universe said, no, you can't be there, you've got to be here. And I went through this time, okay? And my world came crumbling down, and everything was, I lost everything. And I think we've heard that several times in some talks, and sometimes you go through that, it's what you do, it's what happens. And so I lived with my mother for a year, and now I was like at this place, it's like, okay, I can't live with my mother anymore. I need to get out. I'm being brutally honest. How many can live with their mother very long? If you've lived with them, and how many can live with them very long? I mean, I love my mother, but there's a time you can't. When you're an adult, it's like, okay, I had to be on my own. It was time for me to get my own place. And she understood too. She wanted her own space too. And so it was like, we were two Aries. That was another thing, okay? Two Aries. And we started traveling. That was another challenge. And we started traveling together. Yeah. Okay, yeah. We had lots of fun. We did. I love my mother. But we had a lot of growing challenges and fun that we did. But that was, we challenged each other. That's the way to say it. Thank you, Mom. Okay. Anyway, so I wanted to get my own place. And I was now at that place where I could. And, but it was like, I was just starting to just barely start creeping up, up the rungs where I could maybe start looking at that again. And so we were starting to create that. I was like, okay, and it was so funny because it's on my mother's land, and it's a place where back when they first moved there, we first bought the land, my parents did, I used to go to this spot. It was when I was in high school, and I used to just take walks. And I would always go down into this area. We call it the South 40 because it's 88 acres, and call it the South 40. And I'd always go down into this area and just go and read a book and stuff. And I just always said, someday I'm going to have a house here, someday. Well, when I went to nursing school and I went off and I, got married and I was doing all my stuff and all my travels and everything, I was like, I wasn't interested in that. I moved away, and I could care less. I had no intention of living there. It's just like that was out of my head anymore. And but then now here I'm back, and so now I'm like, okay, get a house, and I'm looking around trying to figure out what am I going to do. And it's so funny, it's like now they're going, I was taking a walk on the road. We have the county road, it's a dirt road. It splits the property in two. So there's a North 40 and a South 40. Well, there's 48 and a South 40, okay? And I'm walking, and all of a sudden, I'm walking on the road, and I just hear this, so the South 40 is on my right here. And it's like, and it's all wooded, okay? It's solid woods. And I just hear this, you need to be down here. And I'm like, down there? Really? And they're like, yes, you need to be down here. Because at this point, I'm starting to get some messages. Because remember, I just come through the fire, and I'm grown spiritually tremendously. I'm starting to hear them. It's starting to grow. I'm starting to have conversations. I'm getting where I'm trusting what I'm hearing and things like that. But I'm walking, and they're going, you need to be down here. You need to be over here. And I'm like, okay, all right, okay, well, all right, so okay. And so then I told Mom, and so we're like, okay, well, let's go see what we can do. And that's so we went and started looking at what we could do to create a house down there and stuff. And we went through this whole process, and we finally found what would work, and got into this process, and it was in the financing part, and it was all going through that, and it had been approved, but it was just, it was just in this paperwork part, and it was taking forever for it to finalize. It was like it had been approved, but it was taking forever. And I was like, why? What's going on? And I just kept, little things just kept happening, and it just started making me question it, actually, if it was going to happen or not. And I'm like, no, I believe, it's going to happen. No, please, I know it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. I know. Oh, I know I know it's going to happen. I know. And so finally one day I went and I just went and I looked from the road, and I looked down at the property, and I was just like, okay, what's going on? What are you trying to tell me? And I heard, you don't believe you can afford it. Exactly. I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, well, can I? And they said, well, of course you can. We'll make this happen. If we're going to bring, look what we've already made happen for you. We brought the house, we brought this, we already brought all these things into place for you. If we've done that, then we will create the way for you to be able to afford it. I'm like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, all right, okay. Okay, thank you. All right. It was like the next day. One of my things, I have to go back a little bit. When I lost everything, okay, one of the things, or a couple of the things that I lost were my pets. Okay? I had the sweetest dog. It's just one of these, just really, really good-natured little dog. I mean, he was a big dog, but just one of these lovable, just so lovable dogs. And he actually came there, but then because I had a course that I had to go before I actually got, so it's like this thing that I had to do before I got there. And he actually passed away the week before I got to Mom's. And I had a cat that was long-haired, it was orange cat. And that cat, my sister was going to take care of my animals for me and everything. The cat, the very first day I was gone, just left, As soon as the door was open, left. And they were saying, well, I think she's looking for you, gone out trying to find you. And so I was like, as soon as I knew I was getting the house, I said, well, I want a dog. I just said a dog that will be this kind of a nature, will be this temperament, will, be able to protect, but it won't be, people, be protective, but it won't be where people are, you know what I mean? Like it's a protective dog, but people aren't afraid of it. I mean, it'll protect them, but it'll protect me, but what am I trying to say? Yeah, it's not aggressive, yeah. But it's enough, he's enough where people would not do anything, that they would be reluctant, you know what I mean. Okay, and then I said, and I want an orange cat, a long-haired orange cat like I had. I want to replace my animals, okay? All right. So the day after I had that epiphany about the when they told me, you don't believe you can afford it, and I got all that sorted out. The next day, I was driving, I think from the post office into, to Mom's house, and I pull in, and I hear this, and I'm like, oh my God, I hit one of Nancy's dogs, my sister's dogs. She's got all these little miniature dachshunds and stuff, and I thought, oh no, I hit one of her dogs. Oh, shoot, And I open the door, and this little puppy comes from who knows where, just climbs in the door and crawls in my lap and rolls over. And I'm looking at him, I'm like, who are you? Like, where did you come from? Like, are you my dog? Are you supposed to be my dog? And he just like, and it's like, yeah, I'm here for you. I'm here, And then he just stayed there, and he's the sweetest little thing. And I kept going, and we asked the neighbors, anybody know who he is, where he came from? Nobody had any idea, no idea where he came from. And after a couple of days, I kept chaining him, I tie him up to make sure he went, because he kept trying to follow me when I'd go out and everything, and I was like, I don't want you to do that. And so for a couple of days, I tied him, at the door. And it was so cute, like the third day, I started to do that, and he went like that, like he knew I was doing. And I was like, oh my gosh, you get what I'm doing. I said, well, if you understand that, then you understand that I want you to stay here while I leave, and you'll be safe. And he did. He was fine, okay? And it was about the second day when I was going to bed, because I was like, I don't know what to call you. He was outside, and everything. I said, what do I call him? I don't know a name. Usually I know a name. What do I call you? And I was going to sleep, and I just heard this, Toby. I'm like, okay, your name's Toby. All right, Toby. All right. Well, so then it was like a week or two later. It wasn't that long. My nephew, Travis, he used to work at Sonic in town, and how it was is I get this call from my sister, Nancy, and she's like, is this your kitten here at the house? I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, well, Travis just brought this kitten home, and from Sonic, he says somebody just abandoned it, and they were he says it was gonna get killed here in town, and he just brought it home, but he says, if you want it. I'm like, well, sure, I'll take it. I had no idea what it looked like, okay? Now, these are not the real pictures, but I want you to know, I got that is what Toby looked like, and that's my little orange. That is and her name's Mickey. Okay, so, but I got what that was telling me, so those were signs. Those were signs to tell me my house is coming. See, it was like, if you don't believe it, it's coming. It was just another confirmation saying, it's right around the corner. You wanted the pets, we're delivering the pets to you. So the house is right here. It's right around the corner, okay? So, and they're both still alive. They're all, Toby, everybody loves Toby. He's this great big dog, and he's everybody's best friend, and I just love him. Okay, so for what I want to do next is another manifestation that we're doing. And it looks like I have, about 10 minutes to do it in. Okay. So, very quickly, I want to give you an update on the university. Okay? That's what's happening there. Because that's sometimes if you're working on big things, they may take a little longer, and they may take some curves and turns and things like that. And the last time, Mom and I made an announcement, I think it was in 2013, we made an announcement that, she had the vision to do this. And then 2014, I think or at that time, or maybe it was 2014, we may have even shown the renderings of the building that we were given at that time. And then everything, with her passing, everything just kind of went, obvious reasons. A lot of it was I had to put that on the back burner. You know, I had all these other things because she died. She passed so unexpectedly, and it was just like, I've got to figure out what to do here, and I've got to get things, and you know, it was just so many things going at one point. And so I just said, okay, you're going to have to go over here until I can think about you. And then last year, all of a sudden, it was actually the year before, so it was popping its head up. And then last year, we actually got these renderings. If you want the whole backstory, and I don't have time to give you the full backstory, but the renderings that we had before, we were really disappointed in them because it wasn't what we wanted. And I think that's also why it went, you know, because it wasn't what we asked for. The architect didn't listen to us, and that taught me a big lesson, is stick to your guns. It wasn't what we asked for. We put our order in, and then he came back with something else, and he tried to convince us that that was what we wanted. And it was like, no, that's not what we asked for. And we didn't stick to it. So then, after Mom passed, it's starting to come through. We got these renderings. This man came to me, and he's like, I have these visions, and all these things keep coming to me, and this you know, I get these compellings to draw this exactly this way, and it has to be to the nth, you know, it's like to the 10th decimal point. Okay, it has to be like this, you know, and stuff like that. Well, the biggest thing that Mom saw that she wanted was domes. Okay, and when the architect came back, it had one little dome over the auditorium. That was all it had. Otherwise, it was just your regular old square building. Okay, now, so this is what we got, the renderings from this person. Yeah, so kind of cool, huh? Yeah, so that's our update of our building. Okay, so we got that last year, and then I'm going, okay, and it was like, all right, ready to go. And it kind of went, like, okay, come on, what's the next step? And it all just kind of went to stop again. I'm like, you guys, you know? So I'm with my brain trying to figure out, okay, how are we going to make money to build this thing? How are we gonna, you know, I'm going into that mode, you know? And then, toward the end of last year, all of a sudden, it just shifted. And it's like, don't worry about that building. That building's coming. Don't worry about it. What we want you to do is you're going to start this university online. And that way you can reach more people sooner and faster. And then the building will come. I mean, we have the land, we have all of that, but it is coming. See, it's being prepared. It's up there being cooked and stuff. But isn't that cool? Right? And so we are preparing it. I'm talking to people now. I'm putting together the list of instructors. I mean, the whole template just fell in my lap about how to create the university, and we're in creation mode. So I mean, it just started falling into place. And so that's where we are now. We are creating it. So it is happening, yes, and I'm so excited when it was like, oh, that's how you want to do it. Never expected that. I thought we were gonna build a building and then go from there. No, they said, no, we're gonna do it this way. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay? So we'll keep you updated on that, and then so that's where we are, and thank you for being here. And that's, you know my book, Soul Speak. Well, you may not, but anyway, I wrote Soul Speak, The Language of Your Body. And that's my website and how you can reach me. So anyway, thank you very much for being here. I love you. Yeah. Thank you.